Hello, hello. Hey, are you there?
I am here. Oh, where's my video? Where's my face? Hold on.
Okay.
Um, there it is. Oh, you see me?
I'm trying to I can't hear you that good.
Can you hear me?
Hold on. Okay. Hey, 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 I think we are live. Are we live?
I believe we
Live.
are.
We be trying to figure out this whole technology thing. Hey everyone, my name is Barbara J. Barnes. As you guys already know, I am a real estate agent and I am a real estate investor here in the DC area, and I specialize in a niche called probate. I have on with me live Miss Floretta Davis, guys. She is a powerhouse. She's been in the business for quite some time. I'm gonna let her share her story with you guys. But I love her because she's such a genuine person and she honestly, genuinely wants to help people. So, Floretta, take it away. Let people know who you are and how you got into real estate.
I'm well. I'm getting some feedback. Can you hear me good?
I can hear you perfectly.
Okay. I have been was in the industry for over 20 years now. I was a single mom of four children in my young adulthood and working in the medical field, which I felt like was a dead end for more than one reason. I was working at George Washington University, and um, I just felt like wasn't my value to my value to that facility, hospital. I just felt like I needed growth that they weren't giving me. And with four children and being a single mom, I knew that I needed to do something to generate more income and an unlimited amount of income and not feel like it's controlled by others or what they think my worth is to their to their business or whatever, or to the structure of their business or whatever. So I've only done real estate and medical. So I've never done anything else. I've never had any side jobs, nothing else. Only real estate and medicine. So being in medicine, I was inspired by my aunt, who's an OBGYN doctor, and I just knew that I wanted to be a nurse. I wanted to be a nurse, and I wanted to serve people. I wanted to help people. So that's what I did, and I found joy in it. I found a lot of joy in it, helping people, meeting new people, helping them work through their issues. Um, it was supposed to be medical issues, but a lot of them had different social issues, family issues. So I just felt myself being a servant to them and their needs. So, after sitting in front of a panel, um, over maybe 6 year span that I was in medicine, maybe a little longer than that, but um, and just not agreeing with what they saw in me as
Mhm.
a productive employee. So I said, I got to do something different. And of course, my parents was like, "Oh no, 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 baby, you done work hard to get where you are. You've exceeded in medicine at a young age. You just need to stay where you are. You're a single mother of four." And they just wanted the best for me. They wanted stability, and I wanted stability too. But their version of stability and my version of stability was totally different. I needed wealth. I needed to be able to have my time open. I needed flexible time. I needed to be able to pick up my children. So what actually caused me to make the sudden change and pull the trigger was 9/11. Not being able to actually leave the hospital or work because of codes. We had to be there for potential casualties or whatever they needed us there for. I had to be present. And and not knowing the fate of what was really happening, and my children being stuck in Maryland, and I'm all the way near Georgetown, it didn't work for me. And I felt real uneasy about that. I said, I have to do something. I need the flexibility of my time so that I can drop and pick my kids up from school. I can be there for them in a time of a tragic, if another tragedy were to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Saying,
Wow.
such as we've experienced several tragedies. But so however, that was the turning point. I said, you know what? I had been researching real estate for a long time. Back then we didn't have a lot of the platforms that you all have now, like social media. We didn't have all of that stuff. So my platform was late night TV. When television went off, syndicated TV went off, there were paid versions of television, such as, Donald Trump used to do it all the time with his whiteboard. I tell people that all the time. Like when TV went off, my kids were asleep, I would stay up and I would look at Donald Trump's model of how he was building his empire. And also, what intrigued me mostly about just watching him and researching him was he wasn't afraid of failure. He was not going to let failure stop him. You get what I'm saying? He's filed bankruptcy. He's done so a lot of the things that people are saying and seeing about him has been him. He's been this way. My family's from Atlantic City. A lot of them know him. Maybe even some of them may know him personally, some personal things about him. I know people here in our area who are physicians who are best friends with him in the same color as you know what I'm saying? So however, I overlooked all of that. Didn't want him to be a president. I don't think he was fit for that. But as far as a business, he taught me that if you're going to do this, you strap your boots up. You know what I'm saying? Don't be afraid of failure, and know when you do experience failure, you have to learn from that. So when you're doing it the next time, you're doing it better. And so, however, I just took that and I think I told my mother and my father a couple of times that I was like following him or whatever. And again, they still didn't want me to leave the medical field because of the stability. So I took a leave of absence. That last, and I know I want to be really quick. I'm not trying to be long winded. So if
Oh,
you
it's
got to cut
okay.
me off,
It's
cut
fine.
me off.
I love it.
Yeah. So the last review I had at GW, I said, that's it. I looked up some Black psychologists in Washington, D.C., and I interviewed some of them, and I found one, and I went to see her, and I told her that from the 9/11 experience, um, the experience, I felt like we were being discriminated against, a lot of the employees at GW, and they were having a lot of grievances back then. And then also just the stress of not being able to just working paycheck to paycheck and giving my all to a hospital or industry that I love, you know what I'm saying? And for them to tell me you're worth 10 cents more an hour. No, that didn't work for me. So that was just like the breaking point, especially when I wasn't able to leave to go get my children. And I wasn't on the floors as a nurse at this point. I was like behind the scenes working for a group
Mm,
of doctors. So,
right.
however, um, at that point, I said, I got to do something. So she said that she felt for me, and she said she agreed to sign my FMLA papers. So I was able to take a leave of absence for 3 months. And in that 3 months, I went to real estate school. I studied hard and studied hard and
Nice.
studied hard. And I got my license with the goal of going back as a dual career agent. And back then, when I got licensed, there wasn't a lot of us young folks at my age in the early 20s, mid 20s that were being licensed. This was an industry for older people who are transitioning out of the workplace to do something like, to
Right.
carry
Right.
on, right?
Right.
So with that being said, I got licensed. I got my license during that time when I was taking my FMLA. Went back to work. Was so happy. I went back to work. Just knew that I'm a juggle being a mom, working in the medical
Mhm.
field, and being a dual career agent. Went back 2 weeks after I came back. They came into our office. It was me and several other administrative nurses, and they said they were abolishing our department, and we would have to go to the
Wow.
floor back to the floors. They gave us an option to go back to the floors or take severance pay and move on with severance pay and unemployment. So me, I went out on faith. I took severance pay and unemployment. When I was in school for real estate, they said that the average new agent, it takes about 6 to 9 months to have their first settlement. I
Mm.
affiliated with Longer Foster in Mitchellville. because I interviewed that office, and that was the top producing office at the team. Woodmore was an area where a lot of ball players and athletes and prestigious people in the community would live. So I wanted to be near them. Okay. I wanted to work with the
Right.
agents that were servicing them. And so
Right.
that's what I did. I interviewed, I went there, I took the severance pay, unemployment, knowing that I would take at least 6 to 9 months to have my first settlement. But I was driven. I went into those sales meetings. Hey, told them who I was. I'm a new agent. I'm here to do open houses, to showing agent. But none of them they didn't. They
Yeah.
was intimidated. So none of them even utilized that. But I made sure they knew who I was and knew that I was available to assist them if they needed me. So none of
Right.
them would help me. My mentors wouldn't take me on appointments. So I mentored myself by researching, studying, ear hustling in the office. And I was doing desk duty as much as I could because we used to do desk duty. I got my first sale off of desk duty within 30 days. So that
Nice.
6 to 9 months was turned into 30 days, and it boosted my confidence. And from there, it was like, ooh, I just went on and I just kept pushing and kept doing the same thing that I was doing and kept studying and learning. And in the first 5 months, I was the first of the top producer rookie in our jurisdiction.
Mhm.
Again, it wasn't a lot of young people back then in our industry. So I was one of the top producer rookies and things like that. And from there, 5 months into my business, I went to Remax and I structured a total business. And that's pretty much how I got started.
Wow, that is an amazing. I did not know half of that.
Oh yeah.
Wow, you was killing it. And it's crazy how, you're young and they look at you as a threat. But at the end of the day, you just don't know what God has for you. You don't know who God's child is, right?
Mhm.
So it's like treat people good because you just don't know who you're sitting beside, right?
Right.
That's one of my principles in life. I just feel like, when someone knows what they want, that's a gift in itself. Because a lot of people
Mhm.
in the world, unfortunately, don't know what they want. So the fact that you knew what you want out of life, that was amazing. So talk to me about what's happening now in your real estate career. I know you have a team. We're going to get into the probate deal, but talk about so your goal with your team, some of the accolades and the achievements that you guys have accomplished.
Yeah. Um, so when I went to Remax, I did not have I didn't go with any intentions of starting a team, but business started to pick up in that time when I started. Real estate was really good, like 4 or 5 times a week set of closings. Like it was really good. And I was getting a lot of referrals, just a lot of business. Like I said, I was a young face in the industry. Most everybody else was kind of older. I was out there beating the pavement. I didn't care. Like I was just out there. And so I started to become overwhelmed with the bit with the transactions, and I said, you know what, I need help, I need assistance. So I started my team early in my career. I started a team, and back then I had to be financially responsible for each team member, and those team members were dual career and they had guaranteed employment, so they weren't giving it their all. And real estate is not for everybody. Some of us make it look easy. You get in this industry and you realize that it's not as easy as whoever made it look. You have to have thick skin, and you have to be consistent. It takes a lot to be a successful realtor. It's not all about look, but with social media, it became like the perception. A person can look like they're doing something big and be totally not doing any of that. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
So sometimes,
Yes.
I just kind of look back and I watch everybody. I love everybody. But however, I started my team because I started to get overwhelmed. And I like to give people good service. You know what I'm saying? I don't want anybody to fall between the cracks. So I had started having to like almost having a waiting list for my clients. Like I could get to you next month, or just let me get these closed, right? So I said, you know what? Then those people will start finding other agents. Say, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna bring some other agents on and I'm gonna show them the model and I'm gonna have them come up under me. So I did that for a while. Didn't work because of the dedication. So I stopped and I came back and I was doing it myself and I was doing a really good job until I felt overwhelmed again. So that's how Team Flow D was rebirthed. And
Yeah.
right now I host about 22, 23 agents. Um, and most of my agents are um, active
Yes.
in the market. So that's a good thing. Keeping them encouraged and trained, just encouraged, because you could train people all day long, but keeping them encouraged is a big part of keeping them busy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
My team is considered what is it? A platinum award winning team in DC,
Yes.
Maryland, in the area. And with Samson, which is the broker that we are currently at, we're considered a Diamond Award winning team, and I'm individually, I'm a Diamond and Platinum Award agent. So those are the things we do. A lot of community work. We like to share, support our colleagues, yeah, that's what I do.
I love it. I love it. I mean, you inspire me. I'll talk about when we met. I was probably like not even 2 years in the business yet. And I had a investor, he flipped a house. I had a listing and he purchased my listing. I got both sides of that deal. Then once he renovated the house, we put it on the market and you were the agent. I don't know if you remember that.
I
I think
don't.
your cousin, I think your cousin had purchased a property. It was on Savannah Street in Southeast.
Oh my
We
God, that's my nephew. Okay.
uh-huh. We went through this transaction. Mind you, I was so green. I didn't know anything. You sent me this list. You sent me the repairs. It was like 43 items on that. That my investor was so upset. And I was just like, well, you got to get it fixed. We got everything on that daggone list fixed. I said, okay, I like her. She don't play. And then you had an amazing transaction coordinator who I end up working with. Her name is Anika. And I love the way y'all work. Like, you work so efficient. Mind you,
Mhm.
I'm new and I'm soaking up all of the knowledge with this transaction. I was like, I like her. So I
Uh,
followed you for years and I watched everything that you were doing. And I was always like so happy because I was like, it's like I can look at her and see myself in her and see that she's winning. And I see the
uh,
process. Like, we did a deal and it was so perfect. Everything was done right. Like, we didn't have any issues. So
right.
that, that attracted me to you because I didn't know what I was doing and I wanted to be better, right? So
Uh,
as you know, I'm in probate. I do probate. Pretty much this is how I built my business. I built my business off of cold calling, right? And I
mhm,
teach agents how to do, both sides of a deal, how to work with investors, how to maximize the opportunity, right? And I know
mhm.
you closed a probate deal and I know it was a great one. I want to just talk about that. Just talk to me about that and what was your experience with that?
Well, I do. I never even uh, advertise probate, but you know how the universe is. It brings you what you need. And I noticed that back to the nursing part, me serving people, I was able to serve families because families are broken after death. And then they would bring attorneys, probate attorneys, and estate attorneys, and estate planners would start coming my way. Again, not advertised, not promoted. It was just about my passion to help a family, right? And when I started doing that, the universe just started bringing people, and of course, word of mouth referrals, so on and so forth. So I've done and I still do a lot of probate. Deals. It's always good where there's not a lot of death around you, but it's inevitable. So I'm always prepared. But one of the deals I think you're talking about was the death of, a person died. He owned a home, and a lot of times family members don't want to deal with the home. The home will sit, and they were like, I'm going to get around to it. I'm going to get around to it. And the house has so many different things, or so many family members are going through the house, just going through trying to find valuables or whatever. So then the house becomes an extreme mess, right? So it was just like, first, that was the thing that, they didn't want to have to deal with clearing out the house, because then the memories come back, everything comes back, just staying in the house for a long period of time. So, however, this particular person was like that, and they just wanted, they knew what they wanted, they knew what goal that they were trying to get. And as long as they was able to reach that goal or come close to it, they were fine. So with me, of course, being a liaison between the family members and the attorney and all of that stuff, and then also coordinating the cleaning out of the property, things that they did not want to do. So they found value in that with just me because it's something they didn't want to do. So as agents, we can get paid by the buyer side and the seller side. Buyers can pay agents stuff too, as long as is disclosed. So, of course, having been in the industry and being an investor, I have investor friends and stuff like that. So if I'm not available in a place to purchase the property and do the deal, I can make a phone call and normally can make things happen. So that's what I did. And the person that I linked was just very appreciative. And because we have a relationship, they wanted to pay me as well. So with the combined efforts of me cleaning it up and doing everything that I needed to do, making sure the family got what they wanted out the deal, and making sure the property closed in a timely manner, my profit off of that deal was $144,000.
Wow.
Yes,
Wow.
and that was an as is condition. That wasn't, the house was flipped and it was beautiful. No, that was as is, like, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And I love that. And was that your biggest deal? Your biggest probate deal? Was it like that was just your
That
biggest
was
deal?
my
Just
biggest. That was because that was like almost like a probate wholesale altogether kind of deal. You get what I'm saying? Because it was a
yeah.
probate, but then it was wholesale. Because what I'm saying. So that I was able to have the family understand that this is what I do and this is how I get it done and this is what I'll get paid for doing it, and them understanding. So some people they want to be in your pocket. Well, why do you have to make that much money? No, you tell me what your goal is. My goal is to help you get meet your goal, come very close to or even exceed it, and my pay for that, if you find that valuable, then my pay for that should not be a question. It shouldn't be questioned at all. And that
Wow.
was the case. That was that case. It's not always like that, but yeah, that's how I did. So that probate case, and then working with the attorneys, and that just brought me more deals because I'm gonna make things happen, type of thing. So
I
yeah.
love it. And I literally, I preach the same exact thing to everyone, right? I tell people if you want to get into real estate, let's just say you don't have any experience and you're a brand new agent and you want to close a listing, I promote probate, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because if you're a trustworthy person, right? If you have a heart, a lot of times people are going to work with you because of who you are, not
Mm-hmm.
necessarily because of your numbers, right?
Right.
Like I
Mhm.
just closed a deal and the lady said, Barbara, I got 1,000 calls from all these people, but I chose to work with you because I trusted you. I
Right.
felt warm with you. You explained the process to me. You were
Mhm.
patient with me, right?
Mhm.
And I think that's what's needed in this industry. Like everybody wants to, like, hey, I'm a millionaire. Like, I'm not here to make you a millionaire. I'm here to teach you how to close a deal, right? And
Right.
if you want to learn a skill set, probate is the number one, in my opinion, is the number one niche in real estate and real estate investing with the lowest barrier to entry, right? The lowest cost center to get in, to hone your skills, to communicate, and to close a deal.
Mhm.
And what I love about probate is, right, 90% of the sellers sell within the first 12 months, but also you find more investment opportunities in the probate space. And then as a realtor, you're able to maximize both sides of a deal. Right.
Mhm.
So like I tell people I closed a $250,000 deal and I made 21,000. Right. How was I able to do that? Because I was able to get a commission from the seller, both sides. And then the buyer was an investor. He was in a position to pay me a bonus. Right.
Yeah.
So sometimes as realtors, they limit themselves and they don't see the bigger picture. What I love about probate, I know you have to go shortly. I just did a training. Probate is a niche that is, we call it list stack, right? You have multiple levels of motivation. Somebody passed. A lot of times they're pre-foreclosure because the mortgage isn't being paid. A lot of times they're tax delinquent because they can't afford to pay, the family can't afford to pay the property taxes. And they maybe have code violations because maybe the grass is, not cut and things like that. And some family members are not in the state, like in the DC area, they're not in the state in which the person passed. So they don't
Mhm.
have boots in the ground to get all of these things done. Right.
Mhm.
So it puts the PR in a position where they have to make a decision to sell this property. And then, let's just say other family members aren't on board. right? So they have to make a decision because of all of these stacked motivations. If
Mm-hmm.
you, I promise, I can't make any guarantees. I can't say, hey, you do this niche, you're going to close a deal, right?
Mm-hmm.
But when I
Mm-hmm.
got into the business, I was literally cold calling for 4 months and I made $20,000. And this is, next year will be my 10th year in business, right? And I'm so excited about that. But I
Mm-hmm.
just let people know, like, you don't necessarily have to have all of the bells and the whistles. And if you're in a team, if you're in Team Flow D, they can borrow your experience and say, hey, well, my team and I did X, Y, and Z. My team lead and I have 30 years or 20 years plus in the business, whatever it is. You don't have to be the end all be all, right?
Yep.
So if you're going to be a part of a team, if you're a part of a brokerage, I'm hoping that people are borrowing that experience to help themselves, right? So
Mm-hmm.
I teach real estate agents and investors, like, probate is the number one niche for me, the number one barrier to entry. Now, I'm not saying make that your entire business, right? You don't have to make that your entire business, but if you want to make some money and you don't want to spend too much money, or if you don't have because when I first got into the business, I didn't have a lot of money to spend.
Mm-hmm.
Literally, I was bootstrapping. I was bootstrapping, and I'll tell my story on a later live. But I think that is important that we understand what can turn us a profit, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm only here to help, and I just thought you were the perfect person because you told me about that deal you've done, and then you just had so much success in this business, especially helping other people. Like, I'm so blessed to know you. I'm so blessed to call you my sister. Your number is in my phone. I'm gonna hit
Um,
you up if I need
that's
anything.
right, girl. That's right.
So yeah. So I know you got to go to you got an appointment. So anybody that's watching, if you're interested in learning about the probate niche, just DM me. I'll put my calendar link on this video, and we can just hop on a free call and we could just talk about it. We could just talk about where you are and what it takes to actually have success in this space. Any closing words, Floretta?
I would just say that if you're going to be in a real estate profession, you have to be resourceful. You have to be resourceful, and being resourceful meaning being experienced and fluent in different areas of real estate. And you have to know what areas are going to not everything's going to work for you. So just because you see it work for somebody else doesn't necessarily, you can admire that it works for them, but know that it's not going to work for me sometimes. And I get caught up in that too. I see everybody doing so many different things. I'm like, I could do that. I could do that. No, I need to stick with what I have and make sure what I'm doing, it works for me, because so you won't be all over the place. So you have to make sure that you are fluent in what you're doing, so that when you have those potential clients coming your way, they feel confident that you're going to help them meet their goals. So that's what I have to say about that.
I love that. I love that. And listen, sticking to what works, right?
Yep.
For me,
Yep.
cold calling works, and
Mm-hmm.
other things didn't work for me, right? So sometimes you just got to figure out what works for you and just keep doing what works. I love that. I love you, Floretta.
I
You
love you
enjoy your
too.
day. Listen, let's get it.
And I can't wait till you come and meet my team. So we're going to do some
Yes.
stuff. So we're excited about that. Yes, we have to teach each other. I'm not that agent that I call all the other agents my babies. I know I look young, but all of you all are my babies. And I even have some of my older babies that's older than me call me and want to pick my brain about real estate, and they're frustrated. And sometimes I need those people too, because I get frustrated, and sometimes I need to be encouraged. So we have to encourage each other. We have to support one another, and we have to, make sure we are holding up to our standard of integrity in our business, so that other people won't, just because, won't put us all together in the same light, or that one person did the wrong, they think another agent's going to do wrong. No, if you can't service somebody, say that it's not in your expertise, and refer them to somebody. Make a little bit of money and uphold your integrity, versus trying to do something you have no idea what you're doing. And at the end, it can just ruin your business. And
I
yeah, I
totally
mean,
agree.
yeah,
I totally
and
agree.
jeopardize your license. You don't want to do that, because real estate agents go to jail. Real estate professionals go to jail. I know people have been to jail several times. So
Mhm.
yes, okay, know who you're
Yes.
dealing with. It's not always good to deal with friends and family. Sometimes you have to put that aside and understand that this is business. And so I used to get my feelings hurt when my friends and family would go to somebody else. But I'm happy because if that's what worked for them, I'm good with that. I'm good with that because
Yes.
my ultimate goal is to see them win and to see them reach their goals. So yeah.
Yes, so yes, I appreciate you. I appreciate your kind words. I'll see you guys in the next 2 weeks.
All
And
right.
look forward to the event, guys. Peace. Have a
All
great
right.
one.
Bye.